Welcome back, guys, to Apollo Justice. As deep within the Mason system, we've now completed the past section of it all. However, Drew's Studio and Sunshine Coliseum have now become revealed in the present. With that, out of the two, we choose to go to Drew's Studio because Valant has kind of given us a lead to chase this certain minty fresh newsman around the place. And most likely, considering Drew is dead and Vera is dying, the only person who's likely to be in Drew's studio is the interviewer that was there too. So with that said, let's find him. To be honest, with him as well, he should provide us the links we need, considering he was a good friend to Thalassa Gramarye as well. So maybe we'll be able to break his Psyche Lock after speaking to him. That is, if it is Spark here. But to be honest, who else could it be? Why do I call him Spark? Because that's his name. Great. Mr. Brushel is what I remember him by most. Well, what do we have here? Remember me? Of course I remember you. Journalist meets ex-attorney bar, end quote. Can I ask what you're doing here? Mr. Bishop is poisoned and his daughter's... Oh yes, I know. Know how I know, yes. Of course he'd be investigating even more into it. It's caused me no end of grief, to be honest. A journalist wishes he'd tracked down case just a little quicker, end quote. Were you on the trail of this case the whole time? Thalassa Gramarye was a good friend. Zach says something to that effect back at the Borscht Bowl Club. What a character, what a man! If a little, no. A lot, no. Extremely rough around the edges. Do you think I could ask you a few questions? Oh, are you serious? I mean, I'm usually interviewer, not interviewee. Journalists ask questions, not other way round, end quote. Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of things lately. Right, thank you. Now can we talk? It was tragic what happened to Drew Misham and his daughter. Forgery is a serious crime and they paid the price. You know what really did them in though, don't you? Yes, a forged diary page. The night I interviewed him, I found out something about Mr. Misham I hadn't known. What's that? You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day for 7 years. Wolves have ears, potatoes have eyes, end quote. Being watched? You mean he felt guilty? No, I'm not talking about feelings here. You know, I felt watched too. The whole time been on this case, no less. Journalist gets tingling sensation on back of neck. Freaks out, end quote. Because you felt guilty? Why would I feel guilty? You felt like you were being watched, huh? I wonder what it all means. Oh, it's changed to paranoia, okay. Drew Misham felt like he was being watched. And you along with him? You sure it wasn't just nerves? Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane. I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. But I felt it too. Journalist sure he's being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Thalassa Gramarye got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me? He completely vanishes from that courtroom. Then for 7 years he talks to no one, not a soul. Then just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made. And then he dies. Time to put the pieces together, are we? And you were being watched this whole time? Maybe not just me. Maybe you were too. Me? That makes absolutely tons of sense. Yes. Phoenix really was watched the entire time. I went Zach for that case, actually. You mean the shooting of Psyche Gramarye? No, before that. It's not widely known. You mean the accident during the quick draw shooting practice? My, you're well informed. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite the scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, women, a little puppy. All for me. I was younger then and my days and nights smelled of fresher mint than they do now. Valant Gramarye did mention one particularly nosy reporter. In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Psyche Gramarye at the time. I knew his daughter too, of course. Thalassa, was it? Really? Then Thalassa disappeared quite suddenly at that. And Psyche wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of a scoop, goes on feeding frenzy. End quote. I set up a one-on-one interview with Thalassa's husband, see? Thalassa Gramarye. Something strange was in the air over Troop Gramarye in those days. The whole screwy mentored controlling disciples scene started by then, I'm guessing. Thalassa, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me off the record. Sorry, I don't know. Anyway, I kept prying and eventually became friends with Zach. Sure, he punched me once or twice, or 5 times, but over time he came to see me as his confidant. Confides, eh? He's been waiting this whole time, 7 years, eh? Waiting? For his big comeback, of course. The Valant. A big revival of the Magnifi miracle. Of course, it was all a dream. Because of this. The performance rights. In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zach and Valant? So Valant waited until Zach died. Legally, at least. The time finally comes, and Valant's like a kid on Christmas morning. He's getting ready for his show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know. If that document sees the legal light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damper on the big show. He's a sorry one, that Valant Gramarye. Lost out to his partner at work, and in love too. Love? Same old story, really. 2 disciples and their mentor's only daughter. What has 3 sides and all of them pointy? A love triangle. That is pretty classic. When you're in a performing troupe, that's your world. It's like family. One with an entire high school's worth of drama, intrigue, and backstabbing. And in the middle of all this, Thalassa has Trucy. And then she dies. I need to find out more about this Thalassa. Well, if I need to find out more about her then, I guess I present Thalassa-type statements. Or Thalassa-type things. Either that or the commemorative stamp. Or both. Mr. Brushel, do you know this person? Do I know that person? Of course! I was friends with Zach after all. He hit me a few times. 5 times, actually. But still, I never forget his wife. Thalassa Gramarye. Magnifi Gramarye's only daughter. Do you think you can tell me more about her? Well, why the heck not? Is that my 4th dialogue option? It is indeed. Easy peasy. Mint squeezy from a, well, toothpaste tube. So, Thalassa married Zach and had Trucy, see? It was her 2nd marriage, actually. Do you mean she was divorced? I hadn't heard this one before. Not quite. Her late husband was a performer too. He died in an accident on stage. Tragic, really. They had only been married 1 year. I didn't know. Ah, but she was a beauty. I still carry a portrait around of her now, you know. Indeed, she was sparkling. I've known Trucy since she was a little thing too. She got the better deal, really. She's got you for family after all. What do you mean? Just reminiscing, you know. Thalassa has another child besides Trucy. End quote. What? But Trucy said she was an only child. Ah, yes, this one she had with her previous husband. Her previous husband? Her first husband who died on stage? Yep, they had themselves a kid. Another orphan now. That's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now. Thalassa had another child. Do you think I could borrow that photo? Sure, I can be generous on occasion, you know. Right, Thalassa's portrait has been added to the court record. I won't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Trucy before I forget. People and events all get tangled together and get bigger and bigger. Don't you think? I was too busy wondering about bigger to listen to what you were saying. Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all, I think. Maybe so, but still. I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next. Next, you say? I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this little play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore. Magnifi. I was just wondering what Magnifi would think of all this. What do you mean? Haven't you seen it in Trucy? She's got his power. You mean how I can't lie to Trucy? It was the same with Magnifi. And with his daughter, Thalassa. It's a strange thing. You think it's some Gramarye gene? Magnifi told me once, back when Zach married Thalassa. He said Zach had good eyes. But not good like Gramarye's eyes. Not that good. I wonder if Zach ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Gramarye secret was? Maybe nobody, now that Zach's gone. Zach Gramarye. A plot had finally begun to reveal itself. It sprouted from a warp in the Gramarye fabric and grew, swallowing everything, wrapping itself around the Gramarye's power. A power which passed from Magnifi Gramarye to Thalassa to the next generation. And I would once again need to meet The one who bridged it all together. It's weird how we can also time hop a little bit, in some respects, with evidence that we've got on our hands. But that's a tick on Drew's studio. We've completed that, no problem. But the game is literally saying, go to the Borscht Bowl Club. Face him now. Shadi Smith. Hello. Well, we can't present just yet. I don't think that's what we're doing. What does this say on it? Photo of a young Thalassa, Trucy's mother. Touch the check button for details or more to see it. We lost the locket. We need to talk because really, it's now time. We know everything that happened in the past. Why you were blackmailed. We have all the information we could need, surely. The Gramarye secret is to be revealed. I have to know more about this power of Trucy's. It's like she can see right into people's minds. The first time I saw her do it, it blew mine. And after you were done having your mind blown, you took her to play cards with you. Gotta use the resource at hand, I always say. Yet, I myself have no such power. But Trucy does. Why's that? Maybe Trucy got her power from her mother? Thalassa Gramarye. I will not speak of that. Thalassa is officially missing, correct? And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. Right, now what am I doing? Am I presenting the picture? Or am I presenting the commemorative stamp? Or... yes. Am I presenting the gun that was used inadvertently to cause that accident? The three of you were a team once. Not the entire country doesn't already know this. I could use the stamp. But it looks like I could use the gun as well, maybe. Yeah. Well, obviously, we're going forward with the conversation. Correct! Let's put it that way. At your peak, you were the biggest stars around. Yet, there's another story behind the fame. One that not many know. Thalassa lost her life during a rehearsal. To you and Valant, Gramarye's bullets. It was an accident. It wasn't me. How could I shoot my dear Thalassa? I'm sure Valant would say the same thing. Why, it's just like another murder I might mention. Damn you. Her eyes. I loved Thalassa's eyes. To think they could read my mind was frightening. Yet there was a warmth in them that felt like an embrace. She is dead, and Magnifique Gramarye has joined her. So the only one with power left now is Trucy? Mr. Zack? I do not know. I don't need any power to see through that one, buddy. So there's someone else, someone other than Trucy. Someone who inherited Thalassa's power. How would I know? My chances are slim. It would take a miracle to learn the truth. Or maybe one has already occurred. There is someone else with the power, and I know who. Take that! Apollo Justice. This boy? His name is... I forget. Something weird. Who could he be? An attorney. Attorney? I noticed him when I went to visit a friend's law offices. So, what are we to make of this, oh great ex-attorney? You can show me pictures of strange boys all you like. But you could at least say something like, I'm this boy. I could use a laugh. Interestingly enough, basically that conversation is proving that this is why Phoenix knew about the power beforehand, and why he took him under his wing. Why he said those things. He knew because he'd had this conversation with Zack just before meeting, like properly, fully, so to say. Interesting. At least it plays back and makes sense about why Phoenix would know straight away about everything going on. Because he'd already done this much investigating. This is why he'd also found out so much about Trucy as well. He couldn't at least say something like, I'm this boy, I could use a laugh. Perhaps you wouldn't laugh if you knew the facts. This might not be 100% proof, but it's close. There's a link between this boy and Thalassa. Actually, it's more of a ring. A ring? Perhaps this will refresh your memory. I just so happen to have evidence showing this missing link. Oh, is it in the photo? It is! Take that! Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second. How did you know this? Her first husband, he died a year after they were wed, yes? He was a performer. They met when he joined us Gramarye as a guest in our show. After Thalassa wed him, he left the troupe for a while. And you say she had a child then? I have a photograph of her here. I couldn't help notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They are Gramarye family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture. What? So, that's why. Why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where that other one went. She gave it to this boy. Her son. Oh, that broke both of them. No reason to hide the truth from us now. But more to the point, I feel like I've revealed the truth to him. This strange power. I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet the fact is that it is passed down the Gramarye line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa once. This is what she told me. A power responds to tension in others. Tension? If she were to face a person they became tense, even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. So she could see it? Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension, without the use of a particular object, or in her case, objects. Objects? Wait, were they something she wore? Yes, her bracelets. I admit the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of power could a bracelet have? I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift. Oh wow. Loads of stuff opened. Well, I hardly need you to tell me at this point, but those two are brother and sister, yes. And the brother too has this power of theirs. So Trucy is an older brother. I wonder what will come of that. Mr. Wright, tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I am in your debt once again. No kidding. What I want to know is how all this got to be so messed up. It's the weird thing, isn't it? A brother and sister's tale of revenge, working together to bring down their father's killer. Well, you know, actually one of their father's killer. But you know what I mean. Their families wrecked, but coming together to basically solve each other's woes and ills. It's a nice story when you think about it. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something. Yes, this is how they can shrink to the exact size of their wearer's wrists. And this has something to do with the power? What have I told you? The Gramarye power reacts to tension in others. When a Gramarye senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into minute contractions of the muscles. So minute they cannot sense it on their own. They're muscles. Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for. With a bracelet on, one can sense these contractions, because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. So when the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist. Precisely. That alone doesn't really count as mind reading. I believe I understand how the process works from there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? I guess it sounds simple enough. Have you ever heard of kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped if they focus. Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of the face and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the mad secrets of magic. Magic of secrets. One must know the mind of a crowd before one may distract it. So basically what you're saying is the Gramaryes can see really well. For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels of focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you when to focus? Or something. Precisely. But wait, Trucy doesn't have any bracelets. You were talking about poker, yes? The timing of when to focus is so elementary. She probably does it without thinking. I doubt Trucy herself has realized this. That is all I know of Phoenix Gramarye. Thank you, Mr. Zack. If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I'll keep that in mind. Well, should we play a game? Ah, I've said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? The night my mentor, Psyche Lock, passed from this world to the next. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnifi's test. A test. In his last years, Psyche Lock worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night, I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. This, it seems, was the correct answer. Take this. I give my art to you, Zack. What? It is thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack. Though I would not have minded dying by your hand. How could I shoot you? You're my mentor. Bah! I thought you might say that. If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then? And then, of course, I would have given Valant his chance. And if I shot you in the forehead instead, then it would be over. If you or Valant were to shoot me in the head, then I to the darkness would go and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Ah, and this ending too gives me no cause for regret. I thank you, Zack. And I am sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day. It seems to me that Magnifi wanted you to be a successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valant's. Perhaps, but it is not something we will ever know for sure now. I wonder, what is Valant up to these days? Waiting for you to die. If 7 years pass like this, the performance rights go to him. Ah, and now here I am, and his dream is ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know. What? You don't mean to tell me they put the blame for our mentor's death on him? The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valant had helped you pull it off. But that's madness! Well, seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated? Even though I'm dead? That night, Zack Gramarye was killed. He died as Shadi Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. To whom it may concern, 7 years passed. I, Zack Gramarye, murdered my mentor, Psyche Lock. I apologize for the trouble it caused by my sudden departure from court and hereby confess to my crime. I imagine that's what that says. Zack Gramarye is getting Valant off. His confession, to use as I saw fit. Of course, he killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valant Gramarye. Well, another section clear. Onwards to the Sunshine Coliseum, I say, where we know that Valant is going to be. And obviously, the game led us that way because we needed something to take there. Valant, we come for a conversation. You might not like it. Will we reveal the fact that he doesn't have the rights? Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valant. 7 years has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Actually, I came because there's something I want to ask you. I've spoken to the press. I have nothing more to say. I've spoken to a lot of people myself and come to some conclusions. But then I realized I needed to hear it from you. Right then. Let's talk about Psyche Lock. I've walked a difficult road these past 7 years. Because you couldn't perform Magnifi's repertoire? Do not be deceived! When Valant's skill is the real deal, I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. No, it was my partner who showed me on my way. Zack Gramarye. His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought. Thalassa Gramarye murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you? I remembered it as if it were only yesterday. Yet that was not the way of it, in the end. For while he vanished, the suspicions about my own person never did. His partner Zach vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpies of a press said. I had no idea. Yet the very same press that comes to me now feigning interest. They cover the greatest magic show in history as if it were a vaudeville distraction. And here must I stand smiling at them all. What am I if not a player in some fiendish farce? I'd suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened. Manaphy's death is still a mystery to this day. Which is why I came here to get the answer from you. Really? I knew I'd be seeing these sooner or later. The audience has no business stepping upon the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight. It sounds an awful lot like something I heard 7 years ago. Well, we must have what we need. Let's learn about Manaphy's death at last. Ask what you will, you'll get nothing from me. I'm as much a part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happened. For 7 long years I've endured. Now finally the curtain lifts on my new golden era. All the miracles of our troupe within my grasp. Sorry to do this, Valant, but right now I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb. That should shake things up. Valant, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this. Oh my god, I am as well. Sorry, Valant. So sorry. Really? And what might that be? I see it bears the Gramarye seal. I should have brought this to your attention sooner. But I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Manaphy's miracles. What? Zach Gramarye, he wrote this? What? He passed everything to his daughter? Trucy Enigma. Actually, she's officially my daughter these days. Preposterous! Zach is gone! Vanished into the void! This is the genuine article. Zach was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this. Wah! He's still... Oh, no, they're coming from his cape this time, not from his crotch. He's only got one rabbit and one dove, though. Why does fate toy with me so? Why must my life be lived in thrall to the dead? You're not the only one with that problem. But he shot Manaphy. Yes, it was Zach, it was. And then he left, and my career as a magician fell into darkness. Did you think there might be some way out of it? Say, if you could prove Zach Gramarye shot Manaphy? Was that why you testified? Yes, my way out. It should have been my way out. Well, it might not be too late, Mr. Valant. All you need is a way to prove your case. Who really killed Psyche Gramarye? We're gonna give the confession. This will loosen lips and sink some ships. Come on, lips, work properly. Voice, words, confession. I believe I have the answer to your prayers right here. Zach Gramarye wrote one more thing before passing on. This is a confession, in which he admits to the killing of Psyche Gramarye. See, all according to your plan. I am a magician by trade. Deception is my life's work. I fool the audience, give them a fleeting dream. Yet, it seems the tables have turned. Now I am the audience, believing in the deceptions I have wrought upon myself. Zach wrote this right in front of me. After I explained your situation to him. Alaka, oh my god! Well, the unlock is successful, and we can really get to questioning him now. But you know what I'm gonna do? What happened with Manaphy's death? We're about to find out, but you'll find out next episode. Join me then for more Apollo Justice, and I'll see ya. Goodbye.